Now let's move to the second example. The second example is based on triangles. Yes, all of you have studied congruent triangles actually. So T, second example, T is set of all triangles. Can be any triangle actually. Can be isosceles, can be scaling triangle, can be right angle triangle, can be equilateral, yeah, can be any triangle actually. That's why it's a set of all triangles. On this, a relation R is defined. The relation R, it contains two triangles such that T1 is congruent to T2. What are congruent triangle? When you just take one triangle and you see the mirror image of that. So if you are taking one triangle, this is T1, and there is one more triangle, this is T2, and T2 should be the mirror image of T1. In such case, the two triangles are said to be congruent. Then I cannot say, see, look here, this is T1, this is a triangle, and this is a square. I cannot compare at all. So whenever you want to say congruent, the two diagrams what you consider should be same. But okay, let me take one more triangle here. This is T3. Can I compare T1 and T3? Can I take T1 and T3 are congruent? No. Look at the shape of these two. Totally different. So first thing is the shape should be the same. Okay, exactly the mirror image. That's what I said. Whatever is there, the same thing you should see once again. Correct. So I cannot say this and this are congruent. Okay. Now look here. T1. Now T1 is congruent to T1. Is it possible? Of course possible. When I take a T1 and hold in front of the mirror, I will see what? I will see the same triangle. So every triangle is congruent to itself. That's possible. Of course. Now let me take one more triangle here. T1 is congruent to T2. Similarly, T2 is congruent to C1. You see the triangle what you are holding in the mirror, or you see the mirror triangle and this one. Both are going to be congruent, right? Now in such case, the two triangles are congruent. So what is the condition for symmetric actually? If T1 is congruent to T2, this implies certainly T2 is congruent to T1. Hence, the relation is going to be symmetric. Now, to go for transitive, I need 3. There's one more triangle. Let me just take it. T3. T1 is congruent to T2. T2 is congruent to T3. Notice here, T1 is congruent to T2. T2 is congruent to T3. Certainly, T1 is congruent to T3. This will imply T1 is congruent to T3. You have to compare the first element what you have taken here with the last one. You have to observe one thing. The second element of the first one is the first element of the next one. Okay, so when you start transitive also, T1 is congruent to T2. Similarly, T2 is congruent to T3. Therefore, T1 is congruent to T3. Hence, the given relation is going to be transitive. Now, I just forgot to explain one relation, something called as an equivalence relation. Nothing new. Any relation, a relation R, which is reflexive, which is symmetric, which is transitive. A relation has to satisfy all the three relations at the same time: reflexive relation, symmetric relation, and transitive relation. Such type of relation will be called as an equivalence relation. So in the previous example, it was reflexive because every triangle is congruent to itself. It was transitive because T1 is congruent to T2. Of course, T2 is congruent to T1. So what is the condition of symmetry? If A comma B belongs to R, B comma A also belongs to R, right? And it was also transitive because T1 is congruent to T2, T2 is congruent to T3, certainly T1 is congruent to T3. To understand this, you should know the meaning of congruent, that's all. Fine. So any relation which is reflexive, symmetric, transitive will be called as an equivalence relation. That's a second worked example. Now let's move to the next. Problem number 3. It is defined on a set L which contains all lines in a plane. Okay, and on this a relation R is defined as L1 comma L2. L1, L2. They are two lines actually such that L1 is perpendicular to L2. So we need to show that this relation is symmetric but neither reflexive nor transitive. Fine. Okay. Now let us check for reflexive. See, to check for reflexive, you take one element from the given set, L1. One line, that's it. Is it possible to say, see in reflexive, we should not take two elements for discussion. One single element from the given set should be considered, right? Is it possible to say a line is perpendicular to itself? Never. See, suppose it has to be reflexive, you should write a statement L1 is perpendicular to L1. That means a line is perpendicular to itself. But this is not true. Therefore, the relation R is not going to be reflexive. Now, to check with symmetric, L1 is perpendicular to L2. You take one ordered pair which satisfies the given relation. L1 is perpendicular to L2. So it's something like this. This is the line L1. This is the line L2. As you notice, L1 is perpendicular to L2. At the same time, L2 is also perpendicular to L1. So if I start with L1 is perpendicular to L2, I can also write L2 is perpendicular to L1. Now what does that shows? A comma B belongs to R. I am able to find B comma A also belongs to R. In such case, the relation is going to be symmetric. Now to start with the next one, the discussion on transitive. So how to start transitive? You have to consider L1 is perpendicular to L2 and L2 is perpendicular to L3. This is one ordered pair, this is one more ordered pair. A comma B belongs to R and B comma C belongs to R. Then you need to show that if it is transitive, L1 is perpendicular to L3. You will not going to understand that easily. Let me take, this is L1, this is L2. L1 is perpendicular to L2, the first condition. What does the next one says? Remember, just look at here. These two should be same. Remember, okay. Now, L2 is perpendicular to L3. This is L2. Look here. L1 is perpendicular to L2. Fine. L2 is also perpendicular to L3. That's also fine. But what is the relation between L1 and L3? They are not perpendicular. L1 is not perpendicular to L3. In such case, the relation is not going to be transitive. So that's why every line is not perpendicular to itself. So it's not going to be reflexive. If L1 is perpendicular to L2, certainly L2 will be perpendicular to L1. It is going to be symmetric every time. As you notice, I have written a diagram to understand. L1 perpendicular to L2, L2 perpendicular to L3. Therefore, but L1 is not perpendicular to L3. Therefore, the relation is not going to be transitive. So that's worked example number 3. Now let's go to worked example number 4. There is a set 1, 2, 3. On this, a relation R. R contains 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2 and 2, 3. Now what we have to show this? We have to show it is reflexive but neither symmetric nor transitive. Fine. Now look at the elements actually. The set is very important in the topic of relation. The set contains 1, 2, 3. There are 3 elements, correct? Now take the first element. Okay, with respect to that we have 1, 1. With respect to 2 we have 2, 2. With respect to 3 we have 3, 3. That means for every element I am able to find an ordered pair where first and second elements are same. Therefore, the relation is going to be reflexive. Now, 1 comma 2 here. 1 comma 2 belongs to R. Suppose this has to be symmetric. I should find 2 comma 1 belongs to R if it has to be symmetric. But is there anywhere that 2 comma 1 belongs to R? No, does not belongs to R. Therefore, R is not going to be symmetric. Now, to start transitive, I should find 1 comma 2. I can take 2 comma 3. Not necessary. I can go for the another one also. Okay, 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 2 is also possible. Okay, fine. Now 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 2. When I eliminate this common element, what is the remaining? 1 comma 3. But 1 comma 3 nowhere exists in the given relation. Therefore, the relation R is not going to be transitive. Simple workout. That's it. There is nothing much. But most of the things are based on theory. So that's why I chosen this chapter because it requires just a verbal explanation and less writing. Okay, and the other chapters, as I said, calculus part, they are very important for a science student. So definitely once the lockdown is over, once we start the regular class, we'll come back to those chapters. Okay. Now let's move on to the next problem number 5. On problem number 5, it is taken on the set of all integers R, Z. R contains ordered pair A comma B such that 2 divides A minus B. Now show that this relation is reflexive but neither symmetric nor transitive. Let's create an example because this time it's an infinite set. So to start with the reflexive, let me take 1 comma 1 belongs to R. When can I say 1? See, I have to check actually whether it belongs to R. See, 1. What is 1 minus 1? 1 minus 1 will be 0. See, whenever you do A minus B, the resultant element should be divisible by 2. What is 1 minus 1? 2 is divisible by 2. Can we write it? Of course. Sorry students, there is a printing error in problem number 5. In problem number 5, it's been printed as show that it is reflexive, neither symmetric nor transitive. Please make a change. After the relation is an equivalence relation. Please make this note, everyone. Okay. So that's why we are unable to get the previous one correctly because there is a printing mistake. So please make a note of this. There are few errors. Okay, we will get it. Certainly we are going to rectify that. Okay, whenever there are errors, we are going to inform everyone. So please make a note of this. In the problem number 5, the ending is an equivalence relation. So as you notice, it's better if I just do it everything once again. So on set of all integers, R contains ordered pair A comma B such that 2 divides A minus B. So surely it's going to be reflexive because for all A belongs to Z. Remember, you have to take the element from the Z, and that too for every element. So for any element from the given set, A minus A is going to be 0 is divisible by 2. Now therefore ordered pair A comma A belongs to R. There are certain examples where it's not possible to do it by taking numbers because it's an infinite. So better to write the general procedure. Okay. So therefore you can just say therefore R is reflexive. That's fine. Now the next one, second one is to check for symmetry. See, if I start with A comma B belongs to R, then this says that 2 divides A minus B. You have to start, let A comma B, you have to start from A comma B and search for B comma A. Certainly if 2 divides A minus B, certainly 2 divides B minus A also. For example, 2 minus 4 equal to minus 2. Minus 2 is divisible by 2. Correct, right? What is 4 minus 2? 2. That is also, don't see the numbers are not same. No. Whatever the numbers you will going to get it, the resultant number should be divisible by 2. That is what we need to check. If A comma B belongs to R, B comma A also belongs to R, it is possible. So if 2 divides A minus B, certainly this says 2 divides B minus A also, and this says ordered pair b comma a also exists in the relation. Don't try to give as I said, few problems, general explanation is actually good. Okay, instead of going and taking some numbers. If you're taking numbers only 2 and 4, you're very fine. But look at that, the set is an infinite set. So there are infinite number of elements. I cannot keep on doing going for infinite element. So let's go for the general procedure. Okay, now let us check for third one, that's going to be transitive. I will give you an example if you want it. Let me take 2 comma 4 and 4 comma 6, and that is because 2 minus 4 equal to minus 2 divisible by 2. 4 minus 6 equal to minus 2 divisible by 2. Let me eliminate the common. What I am going to get here? 2 comma 6. What is 2? Okay, suppose this has to belong to the relation. What is 2 minus 6? Minus 4. Minus 4 is divisible by 2. An example to understand. But we have to write the procedure. We have started 2 already into a general. This is also will be written in general. So let me consider a comma b and b comma c belongs to R. Remember, b, whatever is here, the same thing should start in the next order pair. So if a comma b belongs to R, this says 2 divides a minus b, because a comma b belongs to R, and b comma c is there, and 2 divides b minus c, because b comma c belongs to R. I want to check for a and c, right? Let me consider a minus c. A minus c I am going to alter a little bit. A minus c. So a minus b plus b minus c. Add and subtract b. What is a minus b? It's a number which is divisible by 2. What is b minus c? It's also a number which is divisible by 2. So it's something like, let me take this one now. Any number which is divisible by 2, it's a multiple of 2. So let me take it as 2k1 and 2k2. So this can be written as 2k1 plus 2k2. If I take 2 common, k1 plus k2. So what is that you are getting? A minus c is a multiple of 2. Anything which is a multiple of 2 is divisible by 2. So that says that ordered pair a comma c belongs to R. So while writing general procedures, start with a comma b, b comma c, and try to get a comma c. If it is transitive, we will get it. So that's how the problem has to be done. So students, I have told you the correction for problem number 5. The last thing, what has been printed there, okay, remove and just include is an equivalence relation. Okay, fine. So 6-1, let's leave that. Otherwise, please give a try now. Not at all difficult. You have understood so many problems already. So just give a try for this one. Okay, now let's move on to the exercise problems. Worked examples, there are 6. I have explained 5. You can just give a try for that one problem. If not, we are always there to help you. So just try that one problem. I know I'm by solving each and everything from NCERT, I'm just like spoon feeding it is, but for the first time it's better if a teacher explain. Even I suggest to all my teachers, okay, all my colleagues, so please as much as possible try to explain the NCERT problems in the class, all the problems. If they are too similar, yes, 1 or 2 problems you can leave for assignment, okay, because students have to note down, they have to understand. So it's better the teachers work out those problems and make the students understand. Okay, see, we should not stick to, or we should not listen to one student who is clever enough in understanding. We should see an average student actually. Okay, he is the one who is actually depending on us. So let us take care of such kind of students now. Fine. So let's move on. Okay, now starts with exercise 1.1. Under that, first one, the heading is, we have to check every time how many are there totally. Totally there are 5 problems. Okay, so in all the 5, every time I should check for reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Okay, now the first one. There is a set 1, 2, 3 up to 14. On this, there is a relation contains ordered pair x comma y such that 3x minus y equal to 0. See, to start checking, see, first of all, R is a subset of A cross A. But how many elements in A cross A will exist? 14 multiplied by 14. That many number of ordered pair will exist. I don't want all those 14 multiplied by 14. Okay, what is that I need? Only those ordered pair which satisfies this relation. So, to solve this one particular problem, I will just give you can say 3x minus y equal to 0. I will suggest you to write it as y is equal to 3x. That's actually easy for us. Okay, now look here. Whatever the values of x and y, because there is only one set. Okay, so x is an element of set A, y is also an element of set A. So what is the first element of set A? The first element of set A is 1. So when I put x equal to 1 here, what is the value of y will be? Y is equal to 3 into 1, that's going to be 3. Okay, and 3 is also an element of the given set. Fine, now look next one. If I put x equal to 2, what is y will be equal to? 3 multiplied by 2, that will be equal to 6. Now the next, let me put x equal to 3, then y will be equal to 3 multiplied by 3 will be equal to 19. There are 14, correct? Now 1, 2, 3 up to 14. I will not do it till 14, just see where I am going to stop. Let me put x equal to 4. When I put x equal to 4, y is equal to 3 multiplied by 4, that will be equal to 12. Still it exists in the given set. Now let me put x equal to 5 now. Y is equal to 3 multiplied by 5 and 3 multiplied by 5 will be 15. Look here, it is 15. But whatever x and y both belongs to the set A only, and the last element of the set is 14. But I am getting what? I am getting something called as 15. So I should not take this. So what are the elements of the given set, given relation? Now the relation will contain ordered pair 1, 3, 2, 6, 3, 9, 4, 12. Don't consider 5, 15. You should stop it here. Got it? Fine. Now I want to check for reflexive. Correct, right? So 1, 2, 3 up to 14. So if suppose if it has to be reflexive, I should find 1, 1, I should find 2, 2 till where? I should find 14, 14. All these 14 elements should be present in R if it has to be reflexive, but none of the element belongs to the given relation. So it's enough to say, you can write down all the 14 and you can just say does not belongs to R. None of this. But suppose think that 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 up to 13, 13 is present. 14, 14 is not present. Still it's not going to be reflexive. For every element of the given set, you should be able to find the ordered pair. So there are 14 elements. For all the 14 elements, you should find the ordered pair 1, 1, 2, 2 up to 14, 14. Since none of them are present, the given relation is not going to be reflexive. Second, now in the second one, you notice for transitive, I will take one element from the given relation. So sorry, not transitive, symmetric. So let me take 1, 3 belongs to R. If suppose this has to be symmetric, I should find 3, 1 belongs to R. But let us have a check now. 1, 3 is here. But is there anywhere here I can find 3, 1? Nowhere it's possible. So what I will write? 3, 1 does not belongs to R. Hence R is not going to be symmetric. Okay. Think that 1, 3 is there. 3, 1 is also present. Then you check for the remaining elements. But the first element itself is failing to get. No need to check for the remaining elements. So for all possible ordered pairs of the given relation, we have to check for symmetry. Now let's go for transitive. To check for transitive, start with 1, 3. Your next ordered pair should start with 3, and there is only one ordered pair which is starting with 3, 9. If you eliminate the common element, what's the remaining? 1, 9. Does this belongs to R. Have a look here. 1, 9 does not belongs to R. Therefore, the given relation is not going to be transitive. To understand the three types of relation, this is the best example. Okay, so it's neither reflexive nor symmetric nor transitive. That's the way to solve the problems. Most of the things are theory. Whatever the explanation I am giving orally here, please listen to that and write down the classwork based on the same. And now let's move on to the second problem. Now in the second problem, what is the set mentioned? Set is set of all natural numbers n. On this, a relation R is defined as it contains ordered pair x, y such that y is equal to x plus 5 and x is less than 4. First, let us try to construct the elements for the given relation. Look here, the set is natural numbers. I should select two natural numbers, not everything, okay, which satisfies these two conditions. What does this actually says? X is a natural numbers less than 4. What are the natural numbers less than 4? 1, 2, 3. So when x is 1, I can find out y value by using this one. So when x equal to 1, y is equal to 1 plus 5, that will be equal to 6. The next, when x equal to 2, y is equal to 2 plus 5, 2 plus 5 will be equal to 7. And the next, when x equal to 3, y will be equal to 3 plus 5 will be equal to 8. Now I can construct the elements of the given relation. So the given relation will become 1, 6, 2, 7, 3, 8. The elements of the given set. Okay, fine. Now just look here. Now I have to start verifying for reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Set is natural numbers. Natural numbers is what? 1, 2, 3 goes on. Infinite set. But look here, first element is 1. For 1 I don't have 1, 1. For 2 I don't have 2, 2. For 3 I don't have 3, 3. Any one thing is enough to say. Okay. So what I will say is 1, 1, 2, 2 till so on. None of these elements does not belongs to R. Therefore R is not going to be reflexive. Second, 1, 6 belongs to R, but 6, 1 does not belongs to R. Okay. Therefore it is not going to be symmetric. Now for transitive, 1, 6, I should find an ordered pair which starts with 6. No ordered pair starting with 6 here. If I start with 2, 7, no ordered pair starting with 7. If I start with 3, 8, no ordered pair starting with 8. Correct, right? And that is a pure example based on what? Trivial transitive. So this relation is purely transitive and we call it as trivial transitive. Okay students, then I think hope I made it clear with these examples. So how to check for? So if it's a finite set, you can just write down the elements of the relation and check. If it's an infinite set, the procedure has to be written in general. Okay, I hope you understood why why it is actually going to be transitive. It is neither reflexive nor transitive, but it is neither reflexive nor symmetric, but it is transitive. Okay, and that is because for none of the ordered pairs, the second ordered pair does not exist to discuss. 1, 6, no ordered pair starting with 6. 2, 7, no ordered pair starting with 7. 3, 8, no ordered pair starting with 8. So clearly all the three elements will satisfy transitive. Okay, now let's move to the next problem number 3. In this problem number 3, set A is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On this there is a relation defined. R contains ordered pair x, y such that y is divisible by x. Y should be divisible by x. Second element should be divisible by the first element. Okay, if you are finding it difficult, let me start with A cross A. 1, 2, 3 up to 6 crossed with 1, 2, 3 up to 6. Now if you are finding A cross A, 36 ordered pair will exist. Out of 36 ordered pairs, you select only where this condition is possible. First element divides the second element. Now, suppose if I start first one, 1 comma 1, surely 1 divides 1. It's possible. Does 2 divides 1? No, 2 does not divide. 1 divides 2, but 2 does not divide 1. So 1 comma 2 is not possible. 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, not possible. Because the second element should be divisible. Sorry, 1 second. Divisible, right? Let me make it clear. Divisible, sorry. 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3. The second element should be divisible by the first element. Correct, right? 2 divisible by 1, 3 divisible by, similarly 6 is divisible by 1. Now let me start with 2 now. So what is your first element? 2 comma 1. But 1 is not divisible by 2. You cannot consider. So 2 comma 2, right? The next 2 comma 4, the next 2 comma 6. Correct, right? That's how it should be checked. With 3 comma 3 also we are going to write down. So if I am writing with 3 comma 3, it's just 3 comma 3 and 3 comma 6. And if I am with 4, only 4 comma 4, and the next 5 comma 5, and the next is going to be 6 comma 6. That's all. Okay. So you can just check for reflexive. 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6, because there are 6 elements and all the 6 exist. Therefore the relation is going to be reflexive. Let us check for transitive. 1 comma 2 belongs to R. You notice here 1 comma 2 belongs to R, but 2 comma 1 does not belong to R. It's not going to be symmetric. Now to check for transitive, you can just check for these two, or you check wherever it's possible, not just here. 2 comma 2, 2 comma 4, I can take it. Okay, if I eliminate this, 2 comma 4 you will be getting, and certainly 4 is divisible by 2. 2 comma 4 and 4 comma 4 also I can go. If I eliminate 2 comma 4, 2 comma 4, that means 4 is divisible by 2. Like that, you check for each and every possible ordered pair, the relation R is going to be transitive. It is symmetric, it is reflexive because 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6, all the 6 are present. It's not symmetric. One of the example you can just consider, 1 comma 2 belongs to R, but 2 comma 1 does not belongs to R. Fine, okay. And yes, for all possible ordered pairs, what I have written here, it is possible to check the transitive property. Okay, students. Now let's move to the next. The next one, problem number 4. Problem number 4 is given by the set is set of all integers. R contains ordered pair x comma y such that x minus y is an integer, and we have to check all the three, whether it's reflexive, symmetric. And this time let us not take the risk of constructing the elements for the ordered pair. You notice it's an infinite set, so better to go with the general procedure. So the first part, for all x belongs to z. What is x minus x? X minus x is going to be 0. For example, 1 minus 1, 0, 2 minus 2. See, reflexive is what? First element, second element should be same. Correct, right? So 1 minus 1 is 0, an integer. 2 minus 2 is a 0, an integer. How long we can keep writing this? So that's why let's shift to the general procedure. So for every element x belongs to z, x minus x equal to 0, right? And 0 is an integer. Therefore x comma x belongs to R. Okay, that's how to write the general procedure. Now to check symmetry, let me start with x comma y belongs to R. This says x minus y is an integer. Correct, right? If x minus y is an integer, certainly y minus x is also going to be an integer. 2 minus 4 is minus 2, an integer. 4 minus 2 is 2, an integer. That's all we need. Don't see minus 2, the number has to be same after the subtraction. No. Whenever you subtract two numbers, the resultant number should be an integer. That's all. So if x minus 1 is integer, certainly y minus x is also an integer. This shows that y comma x belongs to R. Start with x comma y belongs to R and check for y comma x. Okay. Now similarly, for transitive, let x comma y and y comma z belongs to R. X comma y belongs to R. X minus y is an integer. Let me take it as k1, and y minus z is an integer. Let me take it as k2. But I need to check for x and z, right? X minus z can be written as x minus y plus, I'm just adding and subtracting y to the left hand side. Okay, fine. Look here, x minus y, an integer k1, y minus z, an integer k2, integer plus integer, still an integer. Let me call it as k. So what is the result I got it? X minus z is also an integer. Now that says ordered pair x comma z belongs to R. Now that's how the problem sometimes has to be written in general. The explanation should go on sometimes in general way. That's how it should be done. Okay. Now it's better if I start the explanation right now here. Fifth main involves problems based on human relation. Definitely we'll come back to them. So students, it's not so difficult. See, if you think that this is difficult, this will be the most difficult chapter actually. But if you just have a look around, the things are quite easy. Okay, just a day-to-day things we need to apply. It's simple numbers calculation. What is it? Amount of calculation, amount of simplification is too less. Got it? So because of that, it's quite easy for us to understand the concepts easily, rather than like what we studied in differentiation. So much of simplification, so much of calculation is required, so much of formulas has to be remembered. Here it is not that. Okay, the things are so simple. That's why I selected this chapter. Okay, where with minimum explanation I can make you understand. Okay, so please go through and try to understand. Okay, I hope most of you are working the problems based on differentiation. So let me tell you one thing, let me inform you one thing. Once the chapter is finished, okay, in 1 or 2 days of time you will get the solution for home exercise. So what to do is, meantime, every day once the topic is over, okay, once you complete the classwork, okay, try to work out the problems from the home exercise and keep it ready. For NCERT, anyway, I am working out, I am giving you the solution. For home exercise, you should be knowing whether I am doing right or wrong, correct? No? So once you finish, just keep it ready, okay, and we will send you the solution in PDF format, in a soft copy format in the group. So download that, and whatever you have written, check with the solution what we have sent. Okay, and if the answers are correct, you will be the most happiest person. Just like the coffee example what I said. Okay, prepare, taste, and if it is the taste is too good, you will say, yes, I learned how to prepare coffee. The same way, once we send the solution, okay, and you verify with your example whatever you have worked out, and if the answers are correct, then it's not me, you are the one who is going to feel more happy. Got it? So let's meet in the next class.